Okay, so another video in our series of rehab projects we've done over the years. This particular one was in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It was built in 1978. It was a colonial style home with a detached garage, and it was just shy of 3,000 square feet. And I'll say this was a huge project. It was really I feel like kind of a signature project, which you'll see in the photos, just in the transformations. But the seller situation. So basically, they were an older couple that was looking to retire and relocate to the coast of North Carolina. Um, I guess over the years they've been trying to sell the property as is, but hadn't had luck. Hadn't found anybody crazy enough to take on on the repairs that need to be done. They didn't have the funds to perform the repairs, so they kind of felt stuck. They needed that money, the equity out of the house to buy a new house at the beach to retire to. So anyway, they were having a hard time finding a buyer, and they just wanted a quick and easy process to move into retirement. So what we did was a cash purchase. We covered all the buyer and seller closing costs. There were no realtor commissions or anything like that. We purchased it as is with no repairs needed, and there were a large amount of repairs on this particular house. So we were the crazy one to take it on. And basically, what we let them do, because the owners, they were relocating to the beach, and we were going back and forth trying to come up with an agreement. And I basically recommended that we just let them leave their belongings in the house, at least those that didn't want to take to the beach physically. And they really liked that idea. So, if they're trying to retire and just start with a nice clean slate at their new house at the beach, what's the sense in trying to lug a bunch of extra stuff down there that they didn't necessarily want? So I did let them leave a fair amount of things in the house. And anyway, that it ended up working out good for both of us, I guess. So the renovation, again, this might be the biggest project we've done in terms of a rehab. So just because it really needed about everything except for changing out the framing, basically. So on the electrical, we did a partial rewire, new fixtures, plumbing, partial replumbing, new fixtures, HVAC. We'll put in a new heating and cooling units, new thermostat. Let's see, there were no major structural issues, thankfully. In terms of the kitchen, so we did a gut down to the studs and a full update, cabinets, appliances, quartz countertops, which you'll see in the photos. Similar for the bathrooms, we gutted that down to the studs. Started with insulation, worked our way out. Tile cabinets, quartz countertops again. There was a tub in in the upstairs hall bath. We ended up reglazing or refinishing that. We actually converted some attic space in the master bedroom to a heated master closet or heated closet space. And what we did was a little math just to see what the price per square foot of our comps were. And then we compared that to our construction costs for adding that square footage. And it was a pretty big benefit to cost ratio. So we ended up basically adding a closet, a heated closet space. So, and that really helped with functionality too in terms of that bedroom. We did remove popcorn ceilings throughout the entire house. So 3,000 square feet. That was a large, messy undertaking just in itself. The flooring. So majority of the house had carpet and laminate flooring, which had sort of a particle board underlayment. So we actually ended up taking all that up, got down to the plywood. That way we had something nice and solid to work on. And then we ended up running wide plank hardwoods throughout pretty much the whole downstairs, and then a portion of the hallways and transition areas upstairs, and then on the stairs themselves. And then we ended up installing tile in the laundry room and the bathrooms. So, and then as I mentioned, we did rework the staircase. That was a huge undertaking. The handrails were all somewhat loose. Some of the balustrade or sort of like pickets were damaged, so we ended up taking that all off. There was carpet on the stairs, and we knew we were going with hardwood, so we ended up doing all new risers, all new treads, and all new handrails. So it was a pretty massive project in itself. On the exterior, probably the biggest scope of work was we took off all the masonite siding and went back with new James Hardy siding. So basically did lap siding around the majority of the house, and then we did board and batten accents up in the tops of the gable areas. Also on the exterior on the front, which you'll see in the photos, we did some custom cedar posts and handrails with black metal pickets, and it really turned out nice. It was really sharp. Roof, we only had to do repairs, minor repairs, I believe it was. Repairs, we did windows, we did a full replacement. They were wood windows, and most of them it was just that time. They were original to the 1978 house, so it was time to switch those out. And with the particular theme we wanted to go with, we were going with basically sort of this popular rustic farmhouse look. We knew we wanted to do black windows on the front. So anyway, you'll see it made a huge difference on the facade. But lastly, we did a little bit of landscaping, just some basic cleanup. There was some overgrowth here and there, some trees that kind of taken over to some degree. But we got that all wrapped up, and it really turned out nice. So before and after photos, start with the exterior. All right, so here's the front. Not a bad looking house, but the things you don't see necessarily is the wood decay on the windows, the wood decay in these posts. Most of those posts were rotted at the bottom. The handrails, a lot of it was actually rotted as well. So ended up taking that all off. The masonite siding was in really bad shape. So you can see it was a huge transformation. This was really ended up being kind of like a Joanna Gaines special. Basically, I think her palette's white, black, and then like a rustic, wood. So that's basically what we went with. You can kind of see there on the side of the garage, the board and batten design we did up in the top of the gables just to give it an accent, kind of change it up. But we were really pleased with how this turned out. Here's just a close-up. I think we'd started siding removal at this point. Again, just another angle there. From the right side, again, you can see the board and batten accent. It really does a lot just to change up the design, even that just a slight change. We did add the sort of barn-style lighting you can see to the left and right of the front door. Those are actually the original rocking chairs that came with the house. They were white, and we ended up spray painting those black and sold them with the house, actually. And the garage. So it was a 2-car detached garage there. Ended up having to get new garage doors, new motors. The others just weren't functioning correctly. I believe the owners had said that they believed the garage had somehow been struck by lightning or something, and that there were some wiring issues there. So we ended up changing out the doors. Here's the back. You can kind of see this. The deck really had a ton of algae build up. It was really slick actually to walk on, so we ended up getting that pressure washed, and you can see it made a pretty big difference there. There's the back as well. Again, this is after siding removal. It actually had a really nice backyard. I believe these lots in this particular neighborhood, your minimum lot acreage is 1 acre. So the houses all had a nice perimeter around them. Again, some close-ups on the garage. All right, so moving on to the inside of the house. This is going to be your entrance straight off the front door into the foyer area. Basically, you're going to see we did all the paint. We ended up refinishing these floors. Let's see, what else did we do here? We ended up reworking the stairs. You can see that. We put in new interior doors, 5-panel style, just to kind of give it an old school sort of look, but it's still popular with today's trends. The floors, we went with a matte coat type finish. Actually, it's Rubio monocoat. So actually it's stain and seal in one coat. and it gives it a nice matte finish. And it's just it's different than having going with your standard options of like a satin gloss or semi gloss or even regular gloss. Just the matte finish itself, it's just a very unique look, and we actually use that on all the stair treads and all the handrails as well. All right, so sitting room. This is almost a similar view to what we were just looking at here, but this is off the left of the entry door when you first walk in. Kitchen. All right, so I didn't have a true before photo of this particular angle, but it did bring back some memories when we got in, and we noticed some loose parts on the walls, and obviously it had been some wallpaper had been painted over, a lot of thick paint on it. We pulled that off, and then there's another layer of wallpaper underneath that, so it kind of just kept going and going. But it's just funny to see how far it came, from this to this. And actually this, you can't see it in this photo, but that pantry there was actually two separate closet areas. It was like a small pantry and then almost like a coat closet for some reason. And so we ended up removing the wall in between and then combining those two spaces to make a nice big pantry. All right, so the kitchen, this was really something we were proud of. We kind of went a bold direction. We actually went with a navy backsplash here, and it really turned out beautiful. A lot of times we go with white and things that are pretty safe, I would say. So this was a little bit of a bold choice for us, but with the color scheme we went with the gold hardware, the white cabinetry, the white quartz countertops, it really gave it basically like a nautical sort of theme. And so it just kind of all came together. And it looks great with the stainless appliances as well. As you can see here, it was definitely time for an update. House had a ton of potential, as you can see. It just needed the right tweaks. Like you see, we went with a farmhouse sink there. Gave it a nice accent. Again, just dated cabinets. Okay, now this is starting to move into the sort of left side of the home. Looking back over what's a actual breakfast area there. Just another view. Basically changed out the light above there. That dining or breakfast area. Reworked all those windows, that whole back door section there. That was all brand new. Like I said, just about everything in this house was brand new except for mostly framing and some of the drywall. All right, so living room. Okay, so basically what we did here is we tore all this railing out just to give it a true, nice open look, and ended up building a whole single step across there, transition into the lower section. Painted all that. It was just dark and kind of dungeony feeling. We reworked the wet bar area, which you can kind of see it in this photo. There will be another couple photos, I believe. But anyway, that particular corner was extremely dark with that dark wood and everything. So you can see there we kind of confined the wet bar to that single little area over there. We already had the plumbing and everything, so we decided to keep the wet bar as an idea. And then just ran some shiplap there at the bottom as an accent. We did German smear on the fireplace to kind of give it just a cool touch up, I guess. And then the mantle is actually, there's a company here in Charlotte that they basically go around tearing down old buildings and barns and these sort of things. In fact, even I think they get into some factories and stuff like that. But they preserve a lot of the old beams, and then they'll take them and rework them, apply seals and stains and these sort of things. And that's a real beam that's super old. I can't remember how old they guessed that it was, but it really gave it a nice rustic look. Again, this was kind of the existing little wet bar area they had. And you can kind of see, that's just another photo just to see what was there and what it became. Another view looking back across the room. And my realtor does all the staging for me. She really does a a beautiful job. I think her staging actually helps, uh, really helps sell these houses. Honestly, you can kind of see the rustic feature of the beam from this side, especially. All right, yeah, this was just a little before and after doing the German smear process on the fireplace. All right, so the dining room. Okay, so we had this red, pretty bold red color in here. We basically just did paint, switched out, and gave it a new oil rub bronze, sort of black farmhouse style chandelier, and then renovating those floors. You can see that just did a lot for this single room. Nice clean look. Office. So yeah, this almost felt like it could have been a bedroom, but there wasn't a closet. So we kind of just titled this an office space, or it could be a kid's, a playroom or something like that. This was just on the back side of the kitchen, heading out toward the garage. You can see just cleaning it up once again. Laundry room. So again, the dark sort of dated cabinetry. You can see the vinyl flooring there, the vinyl matte flooring. So switched that all out. We ran a new modern tile in there. Got us some new cabinets. We actually had to relocate the hot water heater to this laundry room because there was a hot water heater that was installed underneath the steps with a what's called a like a low boy, which is like a short hot water heater. However, what we determined is that hot water heater was actually undersized for the house, so we had to upgrade to a bigger hot water heater, and hence we had to relocate it. All right, upstairs. Okay, and this was, like I said, we reworked all the railing and everything. Those rails were all really loose, actually. Tore up all this carpet. You can see, really turned out nice. Half bath. This is actually downstairs, just off the kitchen near the breakfast area. Just a little powder room, basically. See, with the wallpaper and everything, we just end up actually just demoing it down to the studs and starting fresh. Went with nice clean chrome fixtures in this particular room or bathroom. All right, so master bedroom. A kind of blurry photo here, but I think it was the best one I had. So this is actually going to be at the top of the steps, kind of on the back side of the house above the kitchen. You can see new light fixtures, scrape the popcorn ceilings, all new paint. And what you'll notice there is that door to the right. That's actually a brand new opening that we made. That's where we did or built the closet into the attic. And we went with the grill on the door so that particular space could be heated and cooled. And I'll show here. This is actually before we ever made the door, so it's kind of a close-up angle of the space. So this is actually starting inside the attic before we ever had the opening. All right, so we open the wall up. Now we've got what's going to be our door, and then we're framing in the closet walls. And this is actually when we did the spray foam. So because of the R value we needed, and it was a combination of the R value we needed for it being an attic, and then we didn't have a whole lot of depth on the attic rafters. I can't remember off the top of my head what size they were, but that basically controlled the fact that we couldn't use bad insulation. We needed to use a spray foam insulation, which had higher R value per inch, basically, of thickness. And so that's what we ended up doing here. And in the heating and cooling properties, it was unbelievable, or the insulating properties were unbelievable, because we were basically in the tail end of summer once we got this project done. I mean, that closet, you couldn't even tell it was summer, even though you were basically inside of what would normally be a pretty warm attic space. Okay, now we got drywall. Now we're basically kind of wrapping it up. We've got it painted, and then we've got our light in. So it's kind of a unique little project in itself. Master bath. So it's dated when you've got closet or carpet in the bathrooms. So again, the dark cabinetry, the Formica countertops. It was time for basically a full reset. And what you'll see there on that wall with the towel rack on it, we actually ended up demoing that wall out. On the other side of that wall is where the toilet's set. So it's kind of like you had two separate little rooms that made up the entire bathroom. So what we decided to do is take that wall out, and then we actually ended up reworking the shower space as well. It had a really small, like 3x3 shower stall, basically. So what we did was we expanded that width of that shower into what's a closet, which would be dead to the left of where we're looking right here. So you got your bath vanity there on the right. You have a closet dead to my left. There's a toilet on the other side of that wall on the straight ahead, and then to the left would actually be a shower stall, which you actually see it. There you go. So that kind of shows what it ended up, where we were and where we went. So really big transformation. Nice clean look. We tried to go with sort of old school floor tiles just to kind of fall in line with the sort of country farmhouse look. Heavy concentration on white, the white cabinets, the white quartz countertops, and then using the black oil rub bronze as an accent, even on the mirrors, the lights, and all the plumbing fixtures and the hardware. And there's your little shower stall I was talking about. So yeah, literally a like 3x3, sort of a, a light green 70s style. So we demoed that all out, and then we moved the left wall, I think a couple feet over to get closer to like a 5-foot width. And that's what we ended up with. And kind of a bold look. We went with the black mosaic tile on the floor, but we got a lot of good feedback off of that. So it's kind of a neat little accent. Another look there. All right, so the bedroom. Here we go into basically usually paint, carpet, and light fixtures. That's what this ends up being. See there. Next bedroom. Right. And then last bedroom. We did a beadboard accent on this particular wall. Hall bath. All right, so this was an upstairs bathroom that basically served all the bedrooms upstairs because there were 3 bedrooms besides the master upstairs. So this was kind of their shared space. So what we did was we stuck with the plumbing that was there. It had 2 separate vanities set up. So we actually just ended up keeping that. There wasn't a whole lot of change we could bring to this particular bathroom. But you can see it was a nice transformation. Again, we demoed this all the way down to the studs, started completely fresh. There was a huge buildup of tile and mud bedding, which basically is kind of an old school method they use to set ceramic tiles. And it was probably at least 2.5 inches thick. So it was a ton of weight on this floor. So we demoed that all out with sledgehammers and got it all out of there. Took a lot of weight off the floor. Then went back with the pinwheel mosaic tile that you see there. Went with the navy vanities just as a kind of a neat accent to tie in with the navy theme we were using on navy backsplash downstairs as well. There you go. The navy vanities with the gold hardware, the gold mirrors. So really turned out nice. Again, sort of a nautical theme. And that basically wraps it up. This was probably our biggest undertaking in terms of a project. It was like you probably saw or like you've seen, it was just about everything but the framing really, and then some of the drywall. We reworked so many elements of this house, interior, exterior, the garage, the crawl space, the attic, you basically name it. So really happy with the way it turned out. It was, in my opinion, kind of a showcase project. So I do appreciate you taking the time to check out the video. We are a company that buys houses and land in any condition. Obviously, houses in any condition based on what you've just seen here. But if you have any further questions or want to discuss a property or know someone that might have a property for sale, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us at our office at 704-727-6161. You can also reach us through email at info@m1propertygroup.com. And you can also check out our homepage at www.m1propertygroup.com. There's actually a web form on most of the pages on the site. You can put in your information there and we'll get in contact with you. So again, I do appreciate you taking the time to check out our video.